Hi guys! Welcome po sa ating channel HUGOT SIPNAYAN. Ako nga po pala si Sir JV, ang inyong math kahugot, at welcome po sa ating channel. So, kung bago lang po kayo sa ating channel, so huwag po kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell para maging updated po kayo sa ating mga video lesson at other educational video na ating gagawin. Kung meron po kayong suggestion or komento or nais bigyang pansin na topic para po magawan po natin ng video lesson, maaari nyo po akong i-contact sa mga sumusunod po na social media account na naka-flash sa inyong screen. So guys, maraming salamat po sa bisita. So let's have our video now. So hi guys, welcome po sa ating channel HUGOT SIPNAYAN. At ako po pala si Sir JV, your math kahugot, at welcome po sa ating channel. So para po sa ating video for today guys, ang pag-uusapan natin ay tungkol sa mga triangle congruence. So you're going to talk about SAS Congruence Postulate or the side angle side postulate. Now ito po ay bahagi ng grade 8 third quarter. Ang ating pong objective is to illustrate SAS Congruence Postulate and to prove two triangles are congruent using the SAS Postulate. So, para mas maintindihan natin yung topic nito guys, let's have our discussion. According to SAS Congruence Postulate, two triangles are congruent if two sides and an included angle of one triangle is congruent respectively to two corresponding two sides and included angle of another triangle. So, ibig sabihin nito, kapag ang dalawang side ng isang triangle is congruent doon sa dalawang side ng another triangle, tapos yung angle in between those sides are also congruent, therefore guys, yung dalawang triangles ay congruent. Now, base sa ating illustration, triangle HGT is congruent to triangle SNY. Angle H is congruent to angle S. Line segment HG is congruent to line segment SN. And line segment TH is congruent to line segment YS. Kung napapansin ninyo sa ating given example, itong side na to is congruent to that side. This side is congruent to that side. Tapos yung angle in between them o yung included angle ay congruent. Ano ba yung included angle? Ito yung angle in between two sides. Kaya yung one side to, another side to, gitna nila yung angle na yon. One side to, another side to, gitna ni angle na yon. Kung babasahin nyo yan, since side angle side siya, side angle side, side angle side. At guys, kahit i-flip mo yung dalawang triangle na yan, as long as they are in the side angle side position, automatic congruent po yung triangle according to SAS. Now, for us to determine such item, nag-prefer ako guys sa example na ito. Dalawa siyang triangle na magkapatong o magkadugsong. We have triangle ABC and triangle DBC. Alamin natin yung tatlong congruent part para ma-consider natin siya na under ng SAS. We will start with the angle first. So, angle B is congruent with angle C. Hanapin natin yung dalawang side na nag-include sa kanya o yung pumapagitna sa kanya. First na given side natin is AB at saka si DC. So, ito yung DC, ito si AB. So, and they are both congruent. Nasaan yung isa pang side? Kung napasin nyo, may common side to. BC is congruent to BC using reflexive property of congruence. So, sabihin, line segment BC is congruent to line segment BC. At kung napapansin niyo, nasa format yan ng SAS. 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 Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DCB under SAS. Ito guys ay nagpapatunay na kailangan lamang ng tatlong pair ng congruent parts ng isang triangle para masabi nyo siya ay congruent. At under ng SAS, dalawang side lang po at isang included angle ang inyong kailangan. Let's have another example. Paano man tong triangle na ito, ang dalawa? Now, we will consider syempre ulit yung first angle. Is angle B is congruent to angle E. How about the side? We have side AB is congruent to side DE. Okay? Make sure lang tama po yung marking para hindi tayo magkamali. How about the other side? That would be line segment FE is congruent to line segment CB. Therefore guys, masasabi natin na congruent siya under ng SAS. Therefore guys, masasabi natin na si triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Aside from those congruent part na given, pwede natin identify yung other congruent parts or yung 6 congruent parts o yung 3 pairs of congruent parts ng dalawa nating triangle. Example, so nakita nyo naman yung marking natin. We have a triangle which is CAT and triangle DOG. So napansin nyo, yun yung mismo yung pangalan ng angle na congruent. Now, without giving the name of the triangle, pwede nating malaman kung ano ba yung congruent parts niya at syempre yung mismong triangle. We will start syempre doon sa congruent angle which is angle A at angle O. Tandaan nyo guys, ang pinakamadaling paraan para makuha nyo lahat yung side, unahin nyo lahat ng angle. So since tayo naman ay we consider this one as already in good matter, bibigay na rin natin yung mga side. So the other one is yan. CA is congruent to DO. O line segment CA is congruent to DO. Kung napansin niyo, ang tingnan natin dito, ito'y wala, ito'y meron na marking. Ito'y wala, ito'y marking. Kaya napansin niyo, since sila ay may isang marking, yun ang kinuha nating side. So, we have CA at saka DO. Same concept will be applied with this one. May marking to na yellow, ito'y wala. May marking to na yellow, ito'y wala. Kaya po, AT is congruent to OG. Okay? Now, let's move with the angle. Paano natin maalaman yung sunod nating angle? We have angle C is congruent to angle D. So, nakita niyo yung dalawang marking guys. Sila yung katapat o ka-opposite ng ating mga angle. Kaya po siya yung pinagsama natin. Same concept ang i-apply natin para dun sa may isang marking. We have angle T and angle G. Therefore guys, nakompleto na natin lahat ng angle. Mausulat na natin yung last side. Kung meron tayong CA, AT, therefore ang last side natin ay TC at GD. Yun po. Okay? At based on the given item guys, ang ating mabubuo na triangle is triangle CAT is congruent to triangle DOG using SAS Congruence Postulate. At ganun guys, ang paraan para makuha ninyo lahat ng congruent parts ng ating triangle. Now let's continue with our next example. Now, tandaan nyo, whenever you're dealing with congruent triangles, yung pag-rotate niya guys, flipping, rotating will not affect the congruency of the triangle. Now, let's apply with this one. Ano yung mga congruent parts nito based dun sa SAS natin? So, we'll start with the first one. Angle C is congruent to angle F, followed by the side. We have FD and CA. So, yung marking lang ang titingnan ko guys ha. Make sure hindi po kayo malito doon. Next is BC is congruent to EF. Now, let's continue with the angle. Yung may dalawang marking, we have A is congruent to D. At yung other one guys, B is congruent to E. So, para makuha natin yung ating per side na nawawala dito, we have AB is congruent to DE. So, ginamit na lang natin yung angle na given. Now, therefore, we conclude that ABC is congruent to DEF or the triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So, another example kung paano kunin yung 6 pairs of congruent parts ng dalawang congruent triangle under ng SAS. Okay? Para sa ating susunod na gagawin, we're going to determine whether yung parts na given dito, yung congruent parts na given, ay under ng SAS Congruence Postulate. So, ito yung guys yung example. Hindi mo kailangan ng images or drawing ng triangles para malaman kung under siya ng SAS or hindi. At paano ba malalaman yun? Given angle B is congruent to angle E, AB is congruent to DE, BC is congruent to EF or the line segments, papaano natin malalaman whether they are under SAS or yung talagang triangle ba ay congruent? Kung napansin nyo, si AB at si BC ay galing sa isang triangle. Samantalang si DE at si EF ay line segment or side ulit ng another triangle. Si AB at si BC, meron silang common letter which is B. Yun po yung B, kung napansin nyo. At ito po yung i-angle natin which is B. Si DE at si EF ay may common na point which is E. Kung napansin nyo po, ito po yung angle E. Congruent, congruent. Ito naman guys ay automatic included angle nilang dalawa, which is AB and BC. Si angle E naman ay included angle definitely ng DE at saka EF. Therefore, ito po ay kinukonsider natin as SAS. So bakit po? Dalawang sides at yung included angle nila. Okay. So yun lang po yung paraan para malaman natin na yung given parts ay under ng SAS. At doon natin malalaman kung ano ba yung triangle na pinag-uusapan natin. Automatic ito guys ay ABC, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Now, para malaman natin, let's try another example. Tingin nyo, base sa given example natin, ito ba ay under ng SAS or hindi? Answer is yes, very good. Under po ito ng SAS, guys. Kung napansin nyo po, si XY at si YZ, ang common nila ay Y. Ito pong Y na to. Si OM at si MN, ang common nila ay M. Therefore, Y, angle Y and angle M are included angles ng dalawang side na given natin. Automatic, they're under ng SAS. How about the last one? So, our answer is no. Very good. Kasi bakit po hindi sila kasama? So, tama po kayo. Kung napansin ninyo, si BC at si AB, common po nila ay B. Dapat po ito ay B. Samantalang si DE at si DC, automatic, tama po yung D. Ibig sabihin, dito tayo nagkamali. Dapat po yun ay angle B. Kaya po sagot natin ay no. So, yun na ang paraan natin para malaman natin whether yung congruent parts na given ay under ng SAS or hindi. Mabuti po yun. Alam nyo po. Okay, very good. At tandaan natin, kapag sinabing SAS, isang side, included angle nila sa gitna, tas another side pa ulit. Para po malaman natin, they are under the SAS Congruence Postulate. Next topic natin is about proving. So kung nalaman natin yung mga parts na congruent or yung lahat ng pairs ng congruent parts ng dalawang congruent triangle, ngayon naman magpuprove tayo ng under ng SAS using two column proofs. Ang given natin, si BD ay perpendicular bisector of line segment AC. At tandaan nyo, whenever we're trying to deal with two column proofs, lagi ang may statement proof. At under ng triangle congruence, ipuprove natin yan gamit yung kanyang concept mismo. Mapuprove tayo ng isang side, yung included angle, tas another side. In short, dalawang side o pair ng side ng ating pagkukongruent, tapos yung included angle sa gitna nila. Okay. Para sa ating first statement, syempre yung given natin. Lagay nyo lamang yung ating statement tapos given. Anong sunod natin gagawin? Out of that statement number 1 natin, magkukonclude tayo. Anong pwede natin conclude? Since siya ay perpendicular bisector, automatic, hahatiin niya si AC. Therefore, si AD is congruent to DC using definition of perpendicular bisector. At kung napansin nyo sa ating diagram, ito po siya. Ito at saka ito, they are considered to be unequal measure. Since ito po ay perpendicular bisector. Ito pong BD. Now, after nun, si BD is congruent to BD o yung line segment mismo. Ito po at hanggang dito, ito hanggang dito, is considered to be congruent using reflexive property of congruence. Na-discuss natin under ng axioms. So, minaprove na tayo na dalawang pair ng side. Okay? Ano po yun? Itong unang pares, tapos ito yung pangalawang pares. Ngayon, yung angle sa gitna nila ang ipoprove natin. Ano yung angle sa gitna nila? Automatic, ito po yung part na yun. Now, given our statement, yung ating given statement, magpuprove po tayo ng another. Si BDA at si angle BDC are right angles. Bakit po? Sa definition ng perpendicular bisector, kapag nag-bisect siya, binisect niya yung line into two congruent parts, tapos yung duluhan part, gagawa siya ng right angles. At iyon ang makikita nyo sa ating diagram. Itong part na to, maging right angle yan. Okay? At yung po yung definition of perpendicular bisector. Make sure alamin nyo yung mga axiomatic system na defined terms, undefined terms, theorem, postulate, axiom, para mas maintindihan nyo po yung sinasabi ko. O ngayon, ay sa definition of perpendicular bisector, itong dalawa ay right angle. Ngayon, doon papasok ang sunod nating statement na gagamitin natin. Si angle BDA is congruent to angle BDC under ng right angle postulate. Ano ba yung state noon? Lahat ng right angles ay congruent sa isa't isa since eksaktong 90 degree ang kanilang measurement. And therefore, na-prove na natin siya na sa ating diagram na meron siyang side angle side, side angle side. Therefore, using SAS Congruence Postulate, napuprove na natin na yung dalawang triangle ay congruent. At ganun ginagamit ang two-column proof kapag ikaw ay magpuprove ng dalawang triangle ay congruent. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, kailangan meron kayong notes ng ating previous discussion para hindi kayo maguluhan. Okay? So, let's try another example. Line segment DA and EB meet at the common point o common midpoint F. Nakita nyo naman sa ating diagram. We're going to prove triangle DFE is congruent to triangle AFB using the SAS congruent. Now, kung napansin nyo doon, sa ating statement, we'll start with the given. So, lagay muna natin yung statement natin, tsaka given. Now, since ang ating statement is using the word midpoint, doon tayo magpo-focus, guys. So, therefore, we will conclude that DF o line segment DF is congruent with AF and EF is congruent with BF or the line segment BF. Sa illustration, ito po yan, guys. Using definition of midpoint, automatic kung midpoint tong F na to, si AD o line segment AD o DA, hinati yan into two congruent parts. Ito nga parts na to. At si BE naman, hinati into two congruent parts which is EF at saka si FB. Kaya po ito, nakikita nyo, ganyan po yung ating given item. At sa ganung paraan natin na prove na yung two pairs ng side nila ay congruent. Ito yung unang pair, ito yung pangalawang pair. Ngayon, ang ipuprove naman natin yung angle. We will conclude that DFE is congruent with AFB using the vertical angle theorem. Kung napasin ninyo, dito sa given item na to, pwede natin consider na si DFE at saka si AFB are said to be vertical angles. So usually, ginagawa dyan, DFE and AFB are vertical angles. After nun, saka natin conclude na they're congruent. Pero since naman given, kita naman sa diagram natin na vertical angles sila, therefore, nilagay ko na there are vertical angles at under ng vertical angle theorem, they are said to be congruent. Okay? Since sila ay tapatan, may common side sila, automatic, they are made from intersecting angles and they are congruent. Therefore, na-prove na natin na sila ay congruent under ng SAS. So, kita nyo naman sa diagram natin, SAS, SAS. Therefore, we will conclude that the triangle DFE is congruent to triangle AFB using the SAS Congruence Postulate. At ganun guys, mag-prove ng dalawang triangle congruent using triangle congruence. At tandaan nyo, gagamitin po natin yung style na yan hanggang sa SSS, sa ASA at sa AAS na congruent postulate. Okay? So, kung di nyo pa naiintindihan, let's have another example. Now, given natin, line segment AC is congruent to line segment BC and line segment CF is congruent to line segment CE. They are overlapping triangles. So, nag-overlap sila sa isa't isa, forming a shape. Okay. Parang kakaibang shape. Now, therefore, we start with a given. Now, since we're trying to prove that AFC, or the triangle AFC is congruent to triangle BEC, we start with the given statement. So, they're given, syempre. Huwag na natin paghiwalayin pa. Isa na lamang sila. So, illustration, yan po yung congruent. Therefore, ano yung pwede nating i-conclude dito? Kailangan prove natin na itong angle na to at saka angle na to congruent since sila yung nasa gitna. So, using again the triangle or the angle ACF is congruent to angle BCE using the vertical angle theorem. Therefore, we will conclude that there are vertical angles and after nun, sabihin natin that they are congruent using the vertical angle theorem. Therefore, dito, we'll conclude that SAS Congruence Postulate, yung dalawang triangle ay congruent. Now, kung meron po kayong tanong, bakit daw po ginagawa ko ay automatic theorem na agad na their vertical angle. Usually, ang ginagawa po in old way, and alam ko naman tama po to, ilalagay mo muna dito, angle ACF is congruent, is a vertical angle with angle BCE. Tapos nalagay dito, definition of vertical angle. Tapos after nun, saka mo sulat ng statement na to. So, para magkamero lang tayo ng simplified way o simplified form, tinanggal ko na yung part na yon. Kasi kita naman sa ating given diagram that they are vertical angles. Okay? Now, para malaman natin whether you understand our topic based on SAS, so I'm going to leave you some number here. So, ang gagawin nyo guys ay determine nyo whether yung mga condition na given diyan I consider to be an SAS Congruent Postulate. Now, you're just going to answer yes or no. So, you have your ball pen and your paper. So, timer start now. Okay, timer stop. Let us check whether you have your answer or not. Good luck sa pag-check natin, guys. So, for the first item, we have the answer is no. So, kung napansin nyo naman, yung common natin sa unang triangle ay M. Dapat po yun O. Ito po siya. M po yung common, hindi po O. Kaya automatic yung ating included angle ay mali. This one, guys, number 2 is a yes. Very good. So, napansin nyo dito, ang common natin is G. Ang common dito is L. They are congruent. Therefore, SAS. How about this one, number 3? Is that SAS or no? The answer is yes. So, napansin nyo naman, dalawang congruent pairs ng congruent side. At ito po ay vertical angle. Automatic, there are yes. How about the last one? So, very good. They are said to be yes, also an SAS. So, kung napansin ninyo, yung mga diagram po at binigay nating mga parts ng ating triangles ay masabi nating under ng SAS kapag dalawang side at yung included angle nila ang mga magko-congruent. Okay? I hope nakatama po kayo sa given item natin and sana po may natutunan kayo. So always remember, if we're dealing with SAS Congruent Postulate, remember guys that if we're dealing with SAS Congruent Postulate, so remember that we're dealing with two sides at yung included angle nila ay dapat congruent respectively. At yun po yung paraan para malaman natin whether they under the SAS Congruent Postulate. And guys, I hope you learned something from our video. So if you have some question, please write it down or comment it down below sa ating video. And sana po may natutunan kayo. Next video natin is SAS Congruent Postulate and ASA Congruent Postulate. And syempre, huwag kakalimutan yung AAS natin Congruent Postulate. So I hope I'm going to see you on the next video guys. God bless, ingat po. Peace out. Buhay po tayong lahat. God bless po.